And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures from Ubu. This episode, I'm down by the river, among some trees, as is the norm, I suppose. But I thought what I would do for a change is I'd do one of those walking type videos where I walk and talk, rather than those kind of static shots where I just stick the camera on a tree and yap at you. So people who are watching on the video will see that I've shaved my moustache off, which is interesting, you may or may not, because most people in my life have not noticed that I've done it. It even took my wife a day to notice. I don't know, I possibly will just grow it back, and I'm not really sure why I've shaved it off, just other than something to do, a bit of a change. But it kind of changes the shape of my face a wee bit. But anyway, who cares about my moustache? What I wanted to talk a bit about today is this idea of, as I'm sure the title has alluded to, praying for better days or doing magic for better days. Because I think it's a good kind of catch-all magic to do. Because sometimes we can kind of feel that, we know we don't want to be where we are, but we're not really sure where it is we want to be or what it is we want to do. We just know that we don't want to be in the place we are. And I think doing a kind of a magic for better days is a kind of a good way to approach it, because you're allowing the kind of, whatever way you want to see it, whatever it is, you're allowing your higher self, you're allowing the universe, you're allowing God, whatever is your kind of notion of whatever it is that we interact with magic. You're allowing it to take over and to kind of bring you to places that you might necessarily know of yourself. I remember a while ago talking to Alan Chapman, or he mentioned it or something, and I'm sure it's not his idea, but when you have like heard the same thing for years, and then one day it just kind of clicks with you. So this is the time it kind of clicked with me, and he was just kind of saying that, who are we to think we know what's best for us? We have this kind of idea in our heads that we are, want to, even down to things like true will or following your bliss and stuff that we've talked about before on the podcast and on the video and things. That's kind of as if that's directed by us, that we in a sense get to choose that. It's like, what is it I want to do, and now I'm going to do it. And I don't think that's really what true will is, or following your bliss. And it's more that idea of vocation or a calling. I remember years ago talking to a friend of mine, Gar Shanley. And he's a guy, he writes screenplays and stuff. Wonderful guy. I'm really, genuinely one of the funniest people I've ever met. One of the nicest, warmest people. Well, one of the most sincere and intelligent people too. And he was we were just discussing art and things like that, and the need every now and again that you want to just pack it all in and run away. And he says, yeah, try that. See how you get on with that. He says, it's not really up to you, And I was going, that's interesting, because you kind of feel that it is up to you, in a sense. And I think that's the kind of point that we miss an awful lot in magic and occult circles when it comes to things like true will or bliss, following your bliss, or even our focus of our magic, is being too much in control of it, or directing it too much, or putting too many rules on it, or it has to look a particular way. And I know myself, when I have loosened myself out, and when I have kind of given over the reins, in a sense, not to the fates, although maybe, it's just semantics maybe, but not to kind of go, I'll just take whatever is thrown at me, but in a kind of, to use the Christian kind of terminology, to have a bit of faith in that there is maybe something in this universe that may know a bit more than you do. Imagine that was possible, and allowing it to guide you. Now that is equally to say, or to point out, that in magic you don't have to accept everything that's thrown at you either. Like, say you do, I don't know, a goetic working whatever for money, and Boone turns up and goes, here, well, this is a job I got for you. You don't have to take the job, you still have sovereignty over your own life. But it's kind of allowing the universe, or allowing your higher self, or allowing randomness, even whatever it is, to bring you to new places. So anyway, getting back to my actual point, which was that to do this thing for your magic, or for praying, or whatever it is, just your goal is for better days, because it's an improvement over what you have, but it's kind of unspecified. It's not delineated. It's not kind of pigeonholed. It's not demanding the world looks a certain way, or your life looks a certain way, or that people behave in a certain way, or that you have a particular relationship, financial situation or anything. It's just better days. And that can always be improved upon. And that could be kind of like a background constant enchantment that you have that's better days. Which is why the kind of tail off of all the videos and podcasts are, may our best days be ahead. It's looking forward to things. That kind of chant came from, well, I mean, I didn't come up with that. It's a known statement. But why I started using it was because I kind of started feeling that my best days were possibly behind me, and that now it was just winding down, hang out on this plane until it's over. And I goes, well, even if that's true, I don't want to think like that. I don't want to endure, which is what I was doing an awful lot of my life. I was enduring things, enduring my life, enduring situations, and not enjoying it. Let's enjoy rather than endure. And one of those things is to kind of become open to the possibility of that maybe your best days are ahead. And I remember getting this kind of conclusion, or this kind of insight, an epiphany, that I mightn't even have heard my favourite song yet. I mightn't have even read my favourite book yet. My favourite film mightn't even be made yet. My favourite film, the guy or girl or whoever is going to write, the computer that's going to write it, mightn't even exist yet, mightn't be born yet. And it's just like Dave Navarro years ago said one of the things that got him through his kind of his drug addiction and his suicidal thoughts and depression and all that was that he didn't want to miss out on good shit. That what if there's a great TV show that I'm not going to see, or an album that I'm never going to hear? And I was kind of going, well, that's, at the time thinking, okay, if that works for you. But it kind of grew on me, and it's like going, no, that's one good way to approach it. So I suppose it's kind of twofold is what I'm saying here, is that try and have an appreciation that things can get better, and have your focus on things getting better, but in a less kind of demanding way. And also even like may we have better days, whatever way you want to word it, works if your life is great. Because it always, if your life's great and you chant for better days, then, victory all round, because you now have better days upon better days, and the exponential factor of it is just going to keep going and going. So that's I think a good. People ask me what kind of magic I'd be doing and stuff. It's like I do not long term, but kind of background stuff like that, where I change a chant in my head, where I change some sort of rhythm or an outlook, because I come mostly from a kind of a consciousness model or psychological model, with allowing all the other stuff, that a change in consciousness is the biggest magic for me. It's the most operative, whatever that word is, way of doing things currently. And so that's still kind of coming, I suppose, from the reality transurfing stuff, rather than just do your sigil, or your traditional chaos magic, or your traditional magic, or that kind of stuff that comes from the Western magical tradition. So my change in consciousness, which is a focus on may I have better days, and may an allowance of whatever those better days be originate from outside my psyche, or outside my train of thought, my limited perspective on the world, and open it up to go, well, maybe I don't know what's best for me. Maybe if I just had a bit of fate, or pick your own word, I have trouble with that word too. If I had a bit of fate in the system, the universe, randomness, absurdity, or the things, just kind of let go a bit more. Just allow it to, come to me, like in a creative kind of sense. It's the way I do my art. So why shouldn't it be the way I do my life? I allow the art to arrive, rather than push for it, rather than try to hammer, that whole Michelangelo thing of the David was already in the block of marble. He just had to find it. It wasn't that he was, it wasn't that he was hammering away at it, but it wasn't that he was like kind of demanding that the stone make this David. He seen it as David was already in the stone. He just had to find it. And so I think if I have that kind of creative approach to my creativity, and I see art as magic and magic as art, then why wouldn't I have that approach to my life and to this? So that's that's it. May your best days be ahead, and may we all have better days, and we certainly can do it with the world kind of landscape that's going on at the minute. So, you know, it's probably always been not ideal, but it's probably a bit less ideal at the minute. Although people in different times, people during World War II would probably say we have it quite easy and stuff like that. So it's all relative, and it all has to be in context. But we could all do, and we could all deserve some better days. So that's what I suggest we all enchant for, or have as our background hum to our lives. So, good people of the internet, until our next adventure, may your best days be ahead, and be well.